I am DM Zone. This is the Gamers Oasis. We're going to do vlog number 7. Hey guys, so I'm going to do this real quick. We're going to start vlog 7. Vlog 7 is actually going to be a 15 ped hunt. During this hunt, I'm going to do something called swanting, where you sweat and then you kill the creature afterwards. I'm going to be doing this without armor, which means I'm going to be using my Vivo S10 to heal myself up in between the fights, because swanting by itself is very long. This is by no means the full breadth of how long it took. And I was going to do a follow-up and make that vlog 8. However, it's going to come out shortly hereafter, probably this Saturday coming up, because I don't want to have this much of a despair between these two videos and have people think that this is necessarily the best idea at the lower levels. So it gives you a little insight to what happened during this vlog or during this hunt. But this one wasn't so bad, but I definitely want to talk about the next one sooner versus later. Anyways, let me go ahead and get into this a little bit. So it's a 15 ped hunt. I'm hunting menorahs. My original thought was, since I'm don't wear armor, I'd be going after the males. The males hit for about a point less per attack, and they have one less hit point, so they're slightly easier to kill. My thought was I'd just go ahead and do them. And then whenever I got a skill boost, I would then forget the sweating part and I would just go for the points and kill. Because you seem to get more skill points when you get a skill boost than when you're outside of a skill boost. And since I occasionally will be killing during my sweating, then I will get skill boosts from time to time. I actually end up getting 2. And yeah, got a good amount of points. And we'll talk about all that stuff at the end and if it was profitable and that type of stuff. Anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and talk briefly again about the tailor I met before. He didn't give me a pretty fair deal. He bought all the stone and fruit I had. He also bought all the hides that I was willing to sell. This ended up being about 32 ped. 32 ped really gave me a big jump into doing things on the moon. It allowed me to buy some of the stuff I needed. I was able to buy a thruster. I was able to spend ped on repairing my armor. I was able to do a few other things of that nature. I bought me a refiner finally. I bought me a couple other little things like that. I put some money on my Vivo because I ended up using quite a bit of it. That type of stuff. So I gained a lot of skills during this period of time with that 32 ped. I've almost doubled my character in the last month because of a little bit of injection of money. I feel like if you were to have money and you were to put like a 10 spot on it per month, you would advance significantly faster than what I am doing if you played everything really, really, really smart. Because that would only, 32 peds only what, 32 cents or something like that? Yeah, I think it's only like 32 cents. It's not much of an investment to use, but that injection of funds really made that much difference. The tailor also helped complete my suit of armor, my CDF scout armor. I feel like I was very happy with it, and I feel like during low levels that's frankly almost all you need, unless you're doing stuff that shoots at you or does some sort of elemental damage, electrical, cold, or whatever the third one is. Penetration, maybe. Shrapnel. I think the shrapnel's third elemental type, because you got penetration and you got burn as being the two main range ones. And there's one more in there and I forget what it is. Anyways, I digress. So I owe him a lot of thanks for getting me the start. He's invited me into the guild, the alien gang, which is pretty cool. Lots of nice guys in there. Not sure I'm going to be doing the alien head thing. I just can't really justify spending that kind of ped into the aesthetic look. But who knows what the future will bring. and I'll be doing a lot of business with him in the future as far as selling him stuff because he's a tailor and wants to buy tailor-based stuff. So for sure, I'm going to be doing that. Let me look at this. All right, so being on the moon has given me a whole bunch of newfound freedom. What I mean by that is the 2 ped ammo a day allows me to hunt faster and more than what I was able to do on Arcadia. I could see me stockpiling this and then doing larger hunts. Because even if I have a slight loss, I'll come back with enough or shrapnel to make ammo to do another big hunt. So if I were to do, like, let's just say this for 50 days and I had 100 ped, the amount of hunts I could do for 100 ped would be pretty insane. The reality is I probably won't quite do that. If I get 100 ped, I probably will put 50 of it towards mining so I could raise my geology skill, and I'll probably put 50 towards hunting, and I'll probably continue raising my hunting skill. I've had a change of heart a little bit on the Buchan spare rifle. I looked around at rifles at my level, and I'm not a huge fan of paying markup. I'm not a huge fan of, paying a lot for an unlimited weapon. So for right now, I just have to kind of be content with the Buchan. It's not the best weapon out there. You can get it if you use an amplifier for damage. I'm going to put a little thing over here, probably is it right around here-ish. I don't know. Anyways, somewhere up there maybe. With how you can augment the Buchan, either augmented or adjusted or normal Buchan, how you can do it. What I found interesting is the normal Buchan spare rifle is actually more efficient than the adjusted spare rifle. I have the ability to get it adjusted. I just have to go pay to get it fully healed up, and that's like 10.5 ped worth of stuff if it's at 0, and I'm at I need like 9 ped 1.3 pack to do that, and that's a pretty big investment, but then that will allow it to reset, and I'm hoping that I'll reset the tier leveling rate, because right now it's 13 / 200, which means it levels incredibly slow. Not going to say, yeah, I can say after the second 15 ped hunt, I was at, well, since I've been on the moon, I've done right at 70 ped plus whatever I did at Arcadia plus whatever I did at Calypso. So I bet I'm probably around 85 ped, 90 ped into shooting with this weapon. No, I gotta take that back, because 15 of that ped is with the maze hammer. So, and a lot of that was with the pistol. So let me change that. That's probably closer to about 45 ped. 45 ped into the Buchan got me to 0.19 on the tier, which is a lot. So we're looking over 200 ped just to get into tier 1, which was faster than I initially feared. The maze hammer I talked about in another video would be like 1600 ped, but no, it turns out it might be a little faster than that. It might cost that much after I have to actually tier it, but I need 1,000 blazer fragments or whatever it is. I've heard those go for 26 ped. I don't know if this tier needs that, or if that's just later tiers, or if it just needs 20 or so, something attainable. But yeah, so we're gonna go. I wanted to basically have another roll at the dice to see if I can get a better Buchan than what I did. I could really use that. So I'm going to go get it adjusted, and then I might look into an amplifier once I can use the amplifier, because the amplifier plus that actually brings it up to just into the 60s. If I remember right, I don't have the little card in front of me. You'll see it still probably above me. Anyways, so I'm going to be going that route. I'm going to be killing creatures that drop BLP pistols, BLP rifles, and laser pistols. Also, they'll be dropping short blades and I want to say long blades. There's no clubs, unfortunately, but that's okay. And there's no two-handed weapons, I don't think, that drop from the creatures I'm going to be hunting. But I wanted to go ahead and do this so that I could go ahead and balance my character out, and if I did get one of the melee ones, I would go ahead and use that until it's gone. And if it was at a lower level, I didn't need it, like I got one of the Scott and Barlow -0 short blades. If I got one of those and I didn't need it because I'm already so high and I'm currently using a level 3, then I'd probably go ahead and sell that for good markup because I know that would be a very good markup weapon. But yeah, kind of guy getting off in the weeds there a little bit. Let's see here. So I've been doing the Milo mission for the ammo, but there's a hazmat suit you can get also. I feel like I want to do that at least once. More so when I do my next, I'm doing 2 Milo missions. They're actually both coming after this video, though one's already completed. I have the quick run, which is going to be, it's me getting the mission and then running, and there's virtually no words other than the fact that it's my intro, and then it goes directly into me running the flashcards telling you this is so you can complete the mission while you watch, and basically I show you the path I take so you don't get lost, and there's a little bit of music. It takes less than 20 minutes with no movement items, no special tricks, none of that. You just jump off a side, you go through the fence, through a hole in the fence, and then you run your loop, and then you teleport home, or back to the Gamma portal. Anyways, so there's that, and I think that's going to be a good video. But I want to do more for that video too, because prior people asked me to talk about the Milo engineer, or engineer Milo, and I think that would be good to do. He has this hazmat thing. I want to complete the hazmat set, and then I'm going to do the second video with me wearing the hazmat suit. Running again would be most of the video, but I'm going to show you what you get, and then the third part of that video series, I guess you could say, will be me going to go do the hazmat quest or mission to get the backpack, which is also purely aesthetic. I talk about that in one of my other videos during the hunt. I think the 10 menorah hunt with a maze hammer. So yeah, I'm probably then going to sell the hazmat suit because I have not found any reason to keep it. I've heard there may be future missions where it might be useful, but you know what? If there is, I'll just go ahead and do it again, and I'll probably sell the suit then again and make even more money. But for right now, I could use that lost time of getting ammo in actual funds to do stuff. I have some investing ideas I want to do coming up in the future. It's not going to be a huge secret, but essentially, long-term goal after I get 100 ped, which is 50 days, I'm going to take 50 of it into a big hunt and do a 50 ped hunt, and then I'm going to take 50 of it and do a mining run, and hopefully go get a whole bunch of lower ores. I don't know if I don't have it here in front of me, unfortunately, in my bag upstairs, but I'm going to be aiming for Listerium, the typographic gas, whatever it is, and then iron, so I can start my armor crafting. And I'm probably going to end up with other stuff like narc and that type of stuff. And I want to show you real briefly how not all training finders and TT finders are equal. So here is the different finders, and you can see here that one of them is much better with over a 200 average depth on the Finder, and the rest of them are 104.5, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to name any names, but you can go ahead and look at that and tell me what you think with that, and which direction you'd want to go with that. And you can understand why I'm happy I came to Arcadia and I'm willing to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Finder and spend 50 ped trying to find the best location. I'm probably going to burn all that down. Then I'm going to go to Minoria, where they have a crafting daily, and I'm going to do a video on that eventually, and then I'm going to be doing the crafting daily, and then sweating and hunting small creatures there. And I'm going to be basically taking the proceeds from the 50 ped hunt I will do, and then that shrapnel will be turned into ammo again, so it can't be lost, and then I'll be taking that with me to Minoria, and that will give me the jump start plus all the sweating and everything I'm doing to be able to do the mission. I won't necessarily film the mission, and then at some point in time I'll be bringing all that back to places I can sell it, because I'm pretty sure Minoria is not the best place to sell it since it has the daily quest there, but it might be the best place to build it. Yeah, so I'll eventually come back to Arcadia, but now we're looking at several months out, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so let me get back on track here. One of the things I was watching in a video, and a person kind of talked about it a little bit, and they weren't sure. They were talking about what the game tracked and what the game didn't track, and what things were in the game that would be tracked, and it made me think of a couple things. So we always talk about loot pools, and we talk about different pools. Maybe loot pool's the only one in this game we talked about, but in other games you have different pools that you look into. So I have a theory, and I don't know if I can prove this right now. Well, I've heard a couple theories. There was a guy who said one time that he believed all creatures had X number of skills to give. That's why higher level creatures give more skill than lower level creatures. So what that means is that the level 265 creatures that some people die, when you get hit once and they give you like 3 points of evade or whatever, or agility or something of that nature. 3 points of agility would be insane. Anyways, you get my idea. And then you go fight a Gallard at, Arcadia. They don't give the same amount of XP. That's because the Gallard has less total skills to give than this other thing. So I was thinking of a test I could do, which I'd go over to a Gallard and I would basically pull a Gallard by sweating it, and then, or shooting it without killing it, and then that would give me some skills, and then I put my weapon away and stand there until I died. Then I would go ahead and do that again and again and again until basically I could prove that there was nothing there, there was no skill left to gain, and then I would tally up how many skills that was, and I would do this 10, 100 times, and then that would give me an idea if maybe there was a range in which Gallards had, and then I could do the same thing but at a higher level. Once again, get a phone call. So I got a call from work, sorry about that. These things happen though. I wanted to go ahead and try and remember where I was exactly, but I was talking about different things the game may or may not track. One of the things that I was thinking about too is that I'm not sure the game tracks markup. I want to say with Serial Overdrive talked a little bit about this, about how the game doesn't pay for the markup. So if you're buying like a weapon, one of the Matrix weapons, and let's say you're paying 120% markup on a 50 ped item, which means you're paying, was that 10 ped markup? So you're paying 10 ped markup. When that weapon is being reduced and that affects the loot pool, it's not treating that weapon as a 60 ped weapon. It's treating that weapon as if it's a 50 ped weapon. Think about it though, logically. How could it track all of those things? I'm not sure that it has the ability to track every sale to know what the true value of that weapon is to you. Um, where I kind of base that off of is there's a lot of things in this game that that does not do. There's a lot of things that other games do that it does not. And I think that's a choice. That's a choice on their part because they don't want to spend all of this, not necessarily the creative energy, but the stress on the engine, the the percentage of processing power, whatever you want to call it, on these other things. For example, um, the mail system, the personal notes, the fact that there's not, you know, spell check and those type of things, where there's none of the basic word functions like Control Z for that. There's for other parts, but there's not for that. You know, to undo or redo and that type of stuff. You can copy paste, but you can't do Control Z to bring something back on a note. And I think that's because it's in different parts of the game, but to do it in the note would be just one more layer of something having to be done. And I think that's where the problem is. So I think that these things are, there's a lot of things like that in the game that aren't done. That's my justification or rough shot idea of why maybe they're not tracking markup or those type of things. Also, I think that there's a different pool between um, you healing yourself and your armor taking damage and your weapon decaying than there is that you are sweating. So, sweat doesn't have any necessarily decay, but I think if you are just sweating and you die, you don't get more sweat, obviously. Um, so it doesn't track that. It's only when you apply damage. Um, so I did see a small amount of return on wearing armor versus not wearing armor, or I had a good run. And I can't say that it's because I wear armor I got more loot until I've done that a bunch of times, and I'm not in a financial place where I can do that. So if someone knows something about that, let me know down below where people have done any sort of research or where I can look at this more, because I would like to find out more if people have done that. But I'm almost willing to bet I had a good run, and if you're sweating in armor and then you kill the mob in the swamp, you don't actually get the benefit of your armor decay during that time. Where when I was swanting and hunting, and then I healed myself up afterwards, it did seem to register that. And I don't know if that's because it's an active ability and it happened right before I shot something. So maybe because I healed and then I then I was, you know, engaged in something. Um, Maybe it kept track of that loss of the Vivo S10 and added that to my loot pool. I don't know. I will say this. Sometimes when I'm swanting and I'm drowning the creature, I lose track of whatever and I die. When I die in those situations, I have found that when I come back and drag the monster or the mob back into the water so that it dies, there are times I'll get uh, shrapnel from it. I don't get anything else from it, but I get shrapnel, which I believe is a bug because I'm not near it to right click it and get it. I believe that it's just in a way like a bug, giving me part of the loot that was there, and basically the drowning gets the rest of it, like you do sometimes when you share a kill with another person. So I think that's kind of a thing that happens, but I can't prove it. And there's only like a couple hundred shrapnel. I haven't made thousands of shrapnel from this. I've made like 400. And if you know, Mind Arc wants to take it, it's right here in my inventory. They can come take it, or just take 400 shrapnel off me and we're good. But because that glitch happened, I don't think that glitch happened and it gave me 400 shrapnel that I should never have gotten. I think that maybe there's something there. Maybe something to look at from the behind the way the mechanics of the machine works, I guess you could say. Anyways, kind of going all over the place. Going to be raising up some components and whatnot to sell, crafting wise, and I'm going to be focusing on armor. So look for those type of things to be coming in the future. Also, I looked into what you could do to own a shop or put one up in an apartment or whatever. They're extremely expensive. I don't know if I'm going to make it within the goal I kind of set for myself in one of my prior videos, but I am determined to try and do that. Looks like shopkeepers, or whatever you want to call them, the auctioneer people, are anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 ped. Apartments go for anywhere from 200 to 2,000 ped. Booths are considerably less. You only get 10 items, which is actually perfect for me. I just gotta find one available. I gotta have the money and then have a booth available for me, and then if that happens, then I should be good. I probably will snap that up. But yeah, shops are way out of the picture for me. I don't know when the next time they're going to release shops. I guess they often, when they're first released, sell for around 2,000, and then they go up to 20 plus thousand, 40,000 ped, and that's without shopkeepers and everything else in furniture. So I'm going to be working on that stuff slowly and building towards that. And I would like to say my first shop is going to be in Arcadia or the Underground, but I'm not sure that's going to be a possibility. I kind of favor Arcadia right now. It's closeness to the moon. In fact, there's 3 different areas you can go to at the moon, the planet, and then the underground, and you basically don't have to leave. I think it's a great place to go. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing that or not. Anyways, guys, thank you for a little bit of an introspective moment, I guess you could say. If you like videos like this, or of the other types of videos I'm doing, I'm coming up with different ways of producing videos, so let me know what you guys like down below, and I can try and maybe make more of those. But feel free to subscribe, comment on my videos. I try and respond to 100% of the people who comment down below, and say hi in game if you see me in game. Thank you and have a great day. Bye. So I kind of forgot one part of the thing I promised at the very beginning of the video. I blame this on telephone calls from work. The stats, I'm going to go ahead and put them up here now. It's right after the saying goodbye and everything. But if I read this right, I went from 6,312 to 7,037. And I say that because I have to put the stat up there, and I don't actually have the card in front of me. Let me go ahead and look at the card real quick so I can tell you the rest of it. As you can see there, though, I picked up 57 points of anatomy, which is a good amount of anatomy. My skinning went up by 16, which for a slow rising skill, that's really good. Athletics, another slow rising one, and dexterity both went up by 12. Didn't pick up any dodge because none of the stuff I'm doing really deals with shooting, and shooting is the difference between dodge and evade. I did pick up 12 points of evade. Combat reflexes went up by 12, seen a lot of 12s. I wonder if that makes there's tiers of leveling skills, if that makes sense. So rifle went up by 138, and laser weapon went up by 106. Range damage by 29, and weapon handling by 40. Overall, you can see I picked up almost as much shrapnel as I'd had spent. I spent 15 peds of shrapnel or ammo, and I got 13.18 back. So I almost was profitable or neutral with just shrapnel than all the items I picked up. I actually counted the sweat in this. and I'm counting it as 1.1 ped per 1,000 sweat. So I have 2.2 ped of sweat. You could certainly get more than that for that, but that's one it'll sell it all day long at this prices. Got some hide, muscle oil, animal residue, oil. I got male hides, female hides, because I just ended up pulling both. I was aiming for males, but I got both. I didn't get any weak cloth extractors. I found out those only fall off of the females, and I wasn't lucky enough to have any of them drop. But the basic and the advanced leather fall off of the male, or basic wool and advanced leather fall off of the male, so I got them. The Buchan's rifle, you can see it went down by 1.84 ped in that 15 ped of fight. The Vivo S10 went down by 2.36. It really had a lot of decay. The maze hammer was used to finish off a couple things here and there, and I pulled it out a couple times by mistake and did a couple extra swings, but it was 0.18, and then the rest of the Imperium trainer FAP was used at 0.92. I'm getting a phone call. As you can see, I did pick up a little bit of stone or fruit or whatever it was. I think it was actually dung I picked up. No, excuse me, it was stone. And that gave me a grand total of 3.57 ped profit, which is pretty crazy. I then immediately put that into a losing run of crafting, but my crafting book or crafting blueprint went up by like 7-8 points, which is a good amount, and I was about 2 ped shy of breaking neutral, and as I get that up beyond 20, which I'm right now at 20.2, I'm sure I'll make that back. And but I haven't sold that yet, so I've got that in my inventory, but I haven't sold it yet, so that my ped count on my character looks a little low because it's about 2 ped short of that from the crafting. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video for the second time, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day, and I appreciate you watching it. Bye.